welcome to a new tutorial. Spring is around the corner, so we decided to create a beautiful poster welcoming this amazing season. So this is what we are going to create. We're going to design each and every object that you see here, the text. We're going to design the toucan, the leaves, the flowers, everything will be created on Illustrator, and I'm going to show you step by step how to create all of this. And I'm going to use this color palette that I created, and we're going to use only these colors to create this poster. Of course, I'm going to share with you this palette on a different file. So let's begin by creating the toucan. First, well, set up this size. I decided to go for 450 and 290 on pixels, and well, I have this design. I'm going to decide later if I'm going to use it. So let's begin with the toucan and then decide we can design the leaves and everything else. Alright, don't worry about the size because we can decrease it later. Let's begin by creating a shape. Let's use this tone. And I'm going to use the pen tool, of course. I'm going to click here and I'm going to draw a shape like this for the head of the toucan. And then I'm going down and click around this point and spread it to the left so that we can create, you can see that we have like some belly here for the back of the toucan, like this. And then one point on this part, like in the middle, and spread it to the top so that we can have some less roundness here on the bottom. Spread it like this, and here just close your shape. So you will have this shape. And now let's make this feel like this. You can tweak the points a little bit, just like this. And now just create the other tones. I'm going to begin over here. Create a shape like this. And I'm going to use the lighter tone of this red. And now I want to create a clipping mask with this shape, with the first shape that we created. So I'm going to click this, copy this with Ctrl and C, click here and press Ctrl and F so that we can paste it right here like that. So we have two duplicates now. So I'm going to take this one, this new shape, and the lighter red, and I'm going to press Ctrl and 7 to create a clipping mask with that shape. Now I'm going to, with the direct selection tool, I'm going to copy this shape, the lighter red shape, and I'm going to use this tone for the chest, and I'm going to decrease the size of it. And we have these three shapes. Now it's time to create the face of the toucan. So I'm going to move this a little bit higher, and with the direct selection, select this cream layer, this cream object, and just create a copy on the top. And let's make this yellow. And I want this to have a clipping mask around here. So I'm going to take this shape, Ctrl and C. Now take this one, press Ctrl and F, select both of them, and click on Ctrl and 7 to create this. Maybe we can decrease the color here. And now I'm going to use the ellipse tool to create the eye of the toucan. Let's use the same dark red. And now for the inside, I'm going to press Ctrl and C and Ctrl and F to create a duplicate. Decrease the size, scale it down, and make this white fill. And you have this shape. Now it's time to create the beak of the toucan. Alright, now create a copy of this, a copy of the first one, paste it in front, and create a clipping mask. Grab an ellipse, create an ellipse here, and let's make this tone, the red tone. And I'm going to select all of these objects and click on divide. So I'm going to delete this, and this part, the lower part, will be darker. So we have this beak. And finally, I'm going to create a new shape here, like this. And I'm going to take this tone and make an even darker tone and send this to the back. Alright, only thing missing is the feather of the toucan, and these are really simple to just create an ellipse. Let's make it this color, and let's open up a little bit the tail like this until we have like a less rounded object, and create a duplicate here and rotate it a little bit, make it smaller. And over here the same duplicate, and I'm going to go to reflect, horizontal, no, vertical, and now I'm just going to create a shape like this to create the shadow. One here, one for the middle one, and one for the right one. And this will be in this tone. Alright. Now you can take all of these and unite them with Pathfinder and paste them in front to create a clipping mask. Now take this and send this to the back. And now you have the toucan. Alright, so we're done with this. Group everything. And let's begin with the leaves. So let's grab our ellipse tool. Let's select this color, the green color, well, the green bluish color. Create an ellipse, maybe a little taller, and take your pen tool, click on a top left corner, and click right here on the middle and drag it just a little bit. I'll click here and complete this shape. Now create a duplicate, reflect this, vertical, and fix this edge, and you will have this shape like a water droplet. So go to Pathfinder and unite this. Now create a rectangle that divides the droplet in the middle, and let's grab this color, the darker tone of this same color, and just create a clipping mask with this. So you will have this shape. Now let's take this color, this pale green, and with the pen tool I'm going to draw a line here in the middle of the leaf. Make sure it's on stroke, and let's set it a round stroke of 3. Now with the pen tool, with the pencil tool, and this same stroke, just create some parts of the leaf like this. Of course, if you have a tablet to paint, it's easier. Alright, and let's fix this a little bit. Alright, just take the same pencil tool and create some shapes and increase the stroke by a lot. Shape like this. One over here. Let's decrease a little bit. Alright, so we have one of the leaves. Now let's create another one using this green tone. And just create like a large shape like this. Maybe something like this, a very random shape. And now just take a darker tone and just draw with a pencil some lines. Just like this. Make sure it's on rounded. And now let's create a shape like this, like some brights. And use the same tone. And just place some of them on the leaves. Like this. Alright, so group this. And I'm going to create a group with these leaves. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to create something like this, a duplicate of this to the back, and another one to the right like this, and maybe throw some of these new leaves, send them to the back. To create like a nice bouquet. And actually I'm going to use this same leaf, take it to the back, but I'm going to change the tones. I'm going to use the yellow tones, this one and this one. Just like this. Alright, now take this to the back. Alright, so we have a nice group here. And we can take it here along with the toucan. Make sure you outline the strokes. Alright, now let's continue with the lift. So let's create a shape just like this. Grab your pen tool, click here and then here, and create this shape like this. Place any color you want for now. Create a duplicate and reflect this. So you will have this shape like a rugby ball here. And I'm going to unite this. And I'm going to use this red tone and the darker tone. And I'm going to draw a line here using this tone, but just a little bit brighter, like this. Now I'm going to take the star tool and I'm going to press down until I have a triangle. And let's set the color to green for now. What I'm going to do is to add some triangles like this. You will see why I'm doing this right now. Like this. Now, if you make them all white, you can see what we get. So I'm going to duplicate this and reflect them. And now I can take all of this and click on divide, and just with the direct selection delete everything else. And now the green parts, we can delete them too. Now let's just group this, and I'm going to create a nice group here. I'm going to use another one of these leaves, but I'm going to change the color to the green, like this. Make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to create a duplicate of this new leaf that we just created and send it to the back. And I'm going to use a different set of color. I'm going to use this tone, the pink tone, and for this I can use an even lighter tone. Alright, this is another group. And finally I'm going to create a flower Let's begin by creating an ellipse. I want to make this ellipse the dark red tone. And now create some shapes like this. And I'm going to use the same pink tone from over here. Now duplicate this and make this shape like a little heart shape. Take this to the back and just create some duplicates until you have a nice flower. Now create a line here. I'm going to use the green tone send this to the back and create some leaves. Grab your rectangle and cut this, divide this, and make sure you use the darker green. Now place the leaves here like this, take them to the back, and you have a beautiful flower. Now take all of this and duplicate this and change the pink tone to yellow, and I'm going to draw two ellipses, 4 ellipses, like this. You can just draw an ellipse here to complete this. And use some of these leaves and another one here on the top, and you have a different flower. And we're going to use one of these but I'm going to change the color to this tone. Create a duplicate to the back. And that's it. So we have a nice set of elements. We have everything that we're going to need, so it's time to design the poster itself. So first I'm going to begin with these shapes. You can see these very random shapes, green and red, and I'm going to start with that because that's going to create a frame for me. So I'm going to remove all of these, and I'm going to begin with those shapes. You can see how they are, just random shapes. You don't have to take too much time with this. Just grab your pen tool and create some shapes like this. Maybe we could darken this just a little bit. Alright, now let's start placing our elements here. I'm going to start with the toucan. Here, right in the middle. If you want, so that we don't touch anything else, open the layer tab, and we can create some layers so that we can lock some of them. For example, this one. I'm going to send these two layers here, and I'm going to call these shapes, and I'm going to lock this so that we don't touch it anymore. And this one can be called background, and we can lock this also. So we have the toucan here, and we can begin now more freely placing the stuff. So this is a no-brainer here. I'm just going to place all the things that we created in a random way. I want this group to be here, and we're going to have two of each of these groups. That's why I decided to group them, because this way is easier. So I'm going to duplicate this here, and I'm going to reflect vertical, and I'm going to send this to the back. So we create like a nice depth here. Some of them are in front of the toucan and some of them are on the back. We can change the rotation a little bit, just like this. Place it anywhere you want. And I'm going to take this other group. I'm going to decrease the size a little bit, and I'm going to place them on the corners, one here and another one over here with a different rotation. Alright. And finally, I'm going to use the flowers. So I'm going to place them all this way. Send them to the front so that we can see them completely. And this is where, well, you have to start scaling things up and down so that everything fits very well. I think this looks great here. I don't want to leave any space on the background. Alright, it's all covered. And now I duplicate here. Right here is good. This can be over here. Try to cover as much as possible, as much space as possible. Alright, I think we're set in here. So now it's time to create the beautiful text. I'm going to first write spring. I'm going to create a layer for this, and I'm going to write spring, make it bigger. And for this I used a font called Mercy Heart that I'm going to share with you, of course. So you can see that this is a beautiful font, and I'm going to use this tone, the red tone here. So I'm going to increase the size a little bit, and I'm going to copy this and write welcome, and I'm going to use the green color for this. And of course I'm going to decrease the size of this welcome, and I want to place it here on this curve of the S of spring. I'm going to use the welcome here. Alright. And finally, I'm going to take this flower I'm going to copy this, and here on title, I'm going to call this layer title. I'm going to paste the flower. I'm going to make it smaller, and all the little petals of the flower will be yellow. I'm going to decrease this a little bit. So I want to use one on the right side of spring and one on the left side. So we just have a beautiful title. You can move things up a little bit. And now let me set the color palette all the way here. And now I'm going to create a rectangle the same size of the canvas. And I'm going to take these two objects and frame them. So you can see that we have a beautiful poster, and we created all the things that we see here. We created them here on Illustrator, and it was very fun to do. Spring is a beautiful season, so it deserves a beautiful poster. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you learned a lot of stuff. See you on another one. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye.